This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glynn Lavender.
Hi, and welcome to episode 577 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from shuttersincpodcast.com and singing lovely in the background from creativephotoworkshops.com.au, Mr. Glynn Lavender. How are you?
Heaven. I'm in heaven. You wouldn't believe this, Bruce.
Probably not.
Bruce, you would not believe this. I have a cold. Now, if you remember the last podcast,
yeah,
I had a cold.
Right.
And so the cold went, and now I've got a new one.
Oh, okay.
My darling youngest had a horrible cold.
Right.
Which she passed on to me for the last podcast.
Of course.
She got better. We sent her back to reinfection, a la school. She caught something else. She brought it home.
Right.
She gave it to me.
Of course, because that's what they do.
Have. So I've had this now for about 4 or 5 days. Oh. She recovered, of course, as she did. And then this morning she woke up. She's feeling sick. She's got another cold.
Oh.
So next week, I'm looking forward to having this week's cold. That was last week's cold, which was 3 weeks ago cold.
Oh, dear.
And, of course, my dear wife, she had the first cold. And she's just started feeling sick tonight with the second cold.
Oh, no.
So I was told she's got weeks to wait for number 3. You know?
That's right.
But on a positive note, it started to feel like spring down here in sunny Melbourne.
Oh, really?
It's 20 degrees and beautiful. And the blossoms are in the trees. The flowers are coming out.
Right.
Things are springing here and there.
No.
Spring. So it's starting to feel. So winter's technically gone, I think.
It's definitely not like that up here.
I heard you've had a little bit of rain.
It has been wet and it has been cold. So probably not cold by
10 days.
Melbourne.
Was up there for 10 days.
Who was?
I think it rained every single day. My eldest last week.
Right.
I was in Sydney last week.
You were?
I was.
And you didn't tell me.
I should have let you know.
Good on you.
Well, I was at Sydney Airport last week.
Right.
I flew up in the morning.
Yeah.
Collected my eldest, helped them navigate through the airport because they'd never done that before, and being autistic, it's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
And then flew home, so I was there and back, and so you could have met me at the airport.
Oh, for a day?
Yeah, well, for a couple of hours.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, I would have been there for most of a day, but of course the plane was 2 hours late leaving.
Right.
Yeah, because Sydney had fog, apparently.
Oh, okay.
But mind you, to make up for it, there were 2 hours late leaving on the way home.
Right.
So it was that's because the plane broke down at this time. So and here's the thing: they had a fault on the plane that they could easily have flown with.
Right.
No problem. It would not have affected flying in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But because Sydney Airport has a maintenance division,
yeah,
by law, a plane cannot leave an airport that has a maintenance division with any form of fault. Even if it's a non-crucial fault. So, by law, they had no choice but to try and find another plane.
Wow.
Which I think is kind of good.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're on the side of caution and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But a bit of a pain. So what you going to do? Yeah. So it was actually, I think, not that I saw it, I was outside of the airport doors for about a minute. Yeah. But it was quite nice that day. It was last Wednesday.
Right. Okay.
So it's quite a, but I should let you know, maybe we could come up for lunch at the airport.
Yeah.
How far away is the airport from your place?
From Newcastle, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
There you go, 5-hour round trip for a 30-minute lunch. I've done a 7-hour drive for a 1-hour talk, so I would have fed you. And how are you, my friend? Has it been 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
It has been 2 weeks. We've actually got it together this month.
You're saying we're on schedule?
Yeah, something like that.
Was it schedule?
Yeah, schedule.
You're with the BBC. I mean, tell me, is it schedule?
I'm old school, so for me it's schedule.
Schedule. Yes. So this is what the BBC do speak proper, don't you?
Well, I don't know about the BBC.
So you missed me saying that the first time, so I had to say it the second time.
Right.
But it was true though, back in the early days of Australian TV and radio, that Australian broadcasters were forced to speak with an English accent.
Is that right?
Very proper. Oh, very proper. I listened to anything from the 50s and 60s and 40s.
Yeah.
We did not speak Australian at all on the radios. We were all very, very proper.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting to listen back to and hear that stuff, and just how skewed. We couldn't even have our own identity on our own media.
Yeah.
At the time, which is,
and the ABC used to have a department called SCOSE, the Standing Committee on Spoken English.
Oh.
And SCOSE was, I say they used to because it was shut down for a long time, and it's actually just been reopened. But essentially, SCOSE's role is to advise broadcasters on the correct pronunciation of words, whether it be people's names or how to say the name of a country, or anything that might be contentious in its pronunciation. SCOSE is there to guide the broadcasters.
And then, of course, there was the Scouse department, which is teach you to speak like someone from Liverpool, to sound like Beatles. Now, speaking about saying contentious words, this is completely not remotely on topic, which is very unusual for us. I was watching 8 out of 10 Cats Does Count.
Oh, how good is that?
Which is a fabulous show. But they had one of their guests was an Australian comedian. He was like the side guy. Yep. And they said, after him, is there anything you want to share? And he goes, I just want to share about this complaint that I got online. Right. This woman wrote in a complaint about the way I said the letter H.
Right.
So because he said an H.
Right.
Instead of H.
Yep.
Right. And so she spelt out how it should be. He says, I'm the first person I've ever met who's had a letter spelt to me. And he says, and it wasn't so much the shock that this woman in outrage had put this fairly large comment online under the segment. It was the fact that when I checked her out, he says, it was the first comment she'd made online in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
She'd made no social media commentary. This episode was 2024. So he says, so if you hadn't noticed, between 2019 and 2024, some gone down. Things have happened. Things that maybe, I don't know, worth commenting on.
Yeah.
But no, the thing that got her up off a chair and back on a computer after 5 years was how this guy said the letter H. Which I thought that's the internet in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
If you had to if aliens came down and said, tell us, what is this internet? It's that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Destroyed society and the ability to say H.
So tell me, Mr. Lavender, how is the Nikon ZF?
Well, I don't want to talk about that.
Why not?
I've got a couple other things I want to talk about first.
Okay. What other things do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm frustrated, Bruce.
What are you frustrated about?
I listened to a podcast on football, the North Melbourne Football Club podcast.
Okay.
And they have a segment, and we should do this, actually. I just thought this is coming to me now. We're going to have a new segment. It's called Grind My Gears.
That's never been done before.
No, but we can have an actual segment where we solidify our angst into just a consolidated 40 or 50 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, really narrow it down for once, Bruce, and really, people know they can listen to the intro, listen to the outro, or just skip the middle bit.
Just get straight to the point. In 50 minutes.
Skip the middle bit altogether, So I've got to grind my gears.
Yeah.
And it's the inaugural, Bruce. It's the inaugural Grind My Gears on... We'll forget about it by next episode. People don't know the way we do these things.
This is the final episode of Grind My Gears.
It's not even the penultimate, it's the ultimate. We've gone from inaugural to ultimate all in one spell. Is it a fell or foul? It's got to be foul swoop, because I love seeing chickens falling like that. Chickens swooping down it. I can't remember how many, but it's 3 or 4 flash workshops coming up.
Okay.
And they're all sold out, but bloody marvellous.
Awesome.
Great stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, I'd better build a presentation.
Right.
So since I've got these things, I better actually do the work. So I did that. That's fine. Then I thought, well, I better find the gear.
Right.
That proved a little harder because it was strewn. There's another. We've got some good words coming out today.
Great words.
Yeah, strewn. I found them strewn over multiple rooms.
Right.
Multiple bags, several boxes, and the garage.
Right.
And I haven't got everything yet, but I've got all the actual flashes and the triggers and the chargers. They were hard to find.
Okay.
So I thought, good, all well and good. Didn't have any batteries for the triggers, but I sorted that. It's all coming together. I was starting to feel pretty good. I'm going to have this. I wanted to test everything. I remember how to connect the charger, connect the triggers with the flashes again, just across multiple brands, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I went to do it and it wouldn't connect.
Okay.
Couldn't get this flash to connect, and I thought, well, it's weird. I wonder why. Then I looked, look, firmware's on 1.04. I wonder if there's any updated firmware maybe that might help me. Mm-hmm. So I've gone online and checked out, and it's up to like 2.1.
Right.
So I'll update the firmware.
Okay.
That led me to a 2.5 hour frustrating spiral pit of hell.
I'm sure this ended up with you not only having to update your version of the Mac OS, but you probably had to buy a new MacBook.
I had to buy a new house. I mean, well, I still have. Here's the thing: after the 2.5 hour swirling pit of hell, I'm still no closer to updating the firmware.
Because it took that long to update iOS or
no, I hadn't even had to update. Actually, I haven't updated iOS. I haven't had to do that.
Right.
I had to download some software off the Godox website.
Okay, to flash the firmware onto the flash.
Well, it didn't say that.
Right.
It just said, here's the firmware. So you download the firmware.
Yeah.
And then there's got nothing to open the firmware with.
Yeah.
So you check out what the file is. And it says, and there's a PDF in there. So it says PDF. So you got to download the piece of software that sends it over. So I kind of downloaded that. It's all in Chinese. I found a way to translate it to English. That's great.
Yeah.
But there's no instructions. So I went and watched a couple of YouTube videos, and they made less sense than the Chinese instructions.
Right.
So I then downloaded the software, the firmware again. So I've got the piece of software that transfers it. I've downloaded the firmware, but it is zipped.
Right.
But the type of zip file that comes in, Mac won't open. So you then have to go and find a piece of unzipping software to unzip the folders. So that took me a while. I tried 3 different ones, got there in the end. Got that undone. Now the software doesn't recognize the firmware, the patches. It sees it. It's just grayed out, so you can't unclick it.
Yeah, right.
So then I'll try connecting the flash to see if it needs the flash to be connected to get it to recognize. So I connected the flash, and the software doesn't recognize the flash. So I tried 3 different flashes, didn't recognize any of them. Tried 3 different cables, just in case it was it could be the cable. Change the cable.
Yeah.
Still doesn't recognize them. Take the batteries out of the flashes, which was what you're supposed to do, which I had done.
Yeah.
So tell you what, I'll put them in and see if it makes a difference. Guess what, Bruce?
Yeah.
Didn't make a difference.
Right.
So here I am. I've got 6, 7 triggers I need to update, 6 or 7 flash guns I need to update, software that doesn't do squat, and firmware that just sits there and is grayed out.
Right.
So that's been my week in photography, just about. Yeah. So it's like, have you been going with the Nikon ZF? Well, I've been somewhat busy between that and my wife getting the sack.
Oh, no.
So in her brand new job that she started in January, they've decided to disestablishment the department.
Right.
Disestablishment, Bruce.
So outsourcing.
No. They're going to go with, this is a sales role, they're going to go with organic growth.
What does that mean?
Well, this is 2 months after they sacked the marketing department because the new CEO in America doesn't believe in marketing.
Right.
So they've sacked the marketing department.
Wow.
And now they've sacked the sales department.
Right.
And the product's just going to grow organically, Bruce.
Of course it is.
People out in the world who love, obviously, the lack of service so much that they're going to recommend, if you want lack of service, do we have a place for you to go to?
Yeah.
You know, now it may be one of those things that where people hate other people enough. They say, "Oh, try this stuff," and they send enough people that they hate over.
Yeah.
So as the main breadwinner in the family, losing the role is pretty darn tough. Yeah. Should have seen it coming when she accepted the role, and the guy who interviewed and employed her. When she sent him a Christmas wishes, turned out he was no longer working for the company.
Right.
So when she got into the role, there was no one who knew anything about how sales work in the company.
Wow.
There was no anything. whatsoever.
Oh.
But there was a CEO who was really supportive and really understood and loved her and thought she was doing fabulous stuff and would do anything for her. So she spent 3 months building an entire department.
Yeah.
They went out and poached a young guy with a single dad with 2 young teenage girls from his 7-year job he'd been working in. 2 months ago, they poached him to come and take to work alongside,
No.
and then told him he's gone 2 months later. Now, Bruce, he's not happy.
No.
Funnily enough, the trouble and strife's not too pleased either. But there's been some stress in the household
Yeah.
as well around the Nikon ZF. There's, I mean, as in taking me away from. But I do have a few. I did get a couple of little things. So what it boiled down to is there's a couple of things I wanted to do with the ZF.
Okay.
I wanted to try some TT Artisans lenses on it
Okay.
because they're basically metal prime manual focus lenses.
Yep.
Pretty much like I used to use back in the days of film, but Nikon Z mount, so click straight on. I wanted to try some Tamron lenses, the 16 to 30 and the 35 to 150. So Tamron and also the people who import Tamron also import TT Artisans. So
Okay.
they had all that stuff ready for me, but I couldn't get out there because of all the going on. Plus, my eldest just started school again for the first time after a 2-year hiatus.
Oh, right.
Last week, Thursday last week or whatever it was.
Right.
So it's now Thursday this week.
Yeah.
So I've had to do a lot of running around because it's in the city, and the other side of the city, there's 2 campuses they've got to go to.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty good. But whilst I've taken them to campus, I've had to sit around and wait for 6 hours till they finish the school day.
Yep.
I've had a bit of time to go and take some photos with said ZF.
Okay.
So I've got a couple of observations.
Okay.
And ongoing observations, I might add.
Okay.
First up, fabulous build. It's built very much in the feel of the old manual cameras of the day, of the 70s and 80s. It's got that metal body sort of feel to it, kind of the leather finish. The dials are click, clack, clack, clack. You have to put some effort into turning the dials, and they're really solid clunk, clank, clunk, which feels fabulous. But the lovely folk at Nikon Australia sent over a 50mm 1.8.
Oh, nice.
Well, not really. I hate the 50mm focal length.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only lens I've had to shoot with. And it doesn't have an aperture ring.
Oh,
So you still got to use a little dial on the body to change aperture. So some of that feel that I was looking for, I was not quite able to. Yeah, and that's why I was going to go for the TT Artisans, because it has the actual aperture dial on the lens.
Right.
So some of that feel was somewhat missing.
Yeah.
And here's one observation. Because of the way you have to change aperture on this camera versus if it was on the lens, I found I was rarely changing aperture or even thinking about aperture.
Right.
So I kind of shot everything on the same aperture.
Right.
I just didn't even think to change aperture most of the time because the dial I was going to use, the dials that I wanted to use, was just the shutter speed dial.
Yeah.
Or the ISO dial, which is, as to be expected. So the changing shutter speed feels great. And of course, having a EVF viewfinder changes your world as well because it's giving you a live representation of what you're going to get. And I think that's going to be my curse because...
In what way?
I stop thinking about what I'm doing and just watch the results.
Right.
Rather than what I wanted to do with the camera was think about more of what I'm doing. So I kind of jumped past intuitively knowing what the exposure is going to look like and not worrying about the numbers and just spinning dials because I kind of know which... I've always used dials on a DSLR like a dimmer switch. Darker this way, lighter that way. I never think about darker, lighter, deeper, shallower.
Right.
It's just kind of, there's a dimmer switches like you would on a light switch at home. That's the kind of way my brain's worked for years when it comes to settings on a camera. So I don't think about the numbers until I go click and it's a problem because I've gone too far on the dimmer switch and I'm now at 2 seconds or whatever and it stands out. So what I found was I'm spinning the shutter speed dial, watching the effect and shooting. It's taking away my intuitive understanding of what the exposure is probably going to look like. It's taking away my wanting to think about the numbers more because I'm simply spinning the dial.
Right.
Like a dimmer switch, funnily enough,
and
watching the end result in real time.
Okay.
And here's the thing. It was never going to be the experience that I wanted it to be. because nothing ever is. Nothing's ever what you build these things up in your head as to what you think something's going to be like.
Yep.
And it's never that. Be that, that woman looks amazing, or man looks amazing. Gosh, wouldn't it be incredible to have the S word with them? And then you get there and you realise that you're fabulous, but they're hopeless. Or is that's just been my life experience, Bruce. I'm not sure about yourself. No, you dream about something for a while, and when you get there, the reality. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's like when you go to iconic locations around the world. You've seen this place a million times, and you get there, and sure, it's cool and all, and great, but it's not quite as soul uplifting as you wanted it to be.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah,
it's all great. Everything's great. Any sex is good sex, Bruce. But it's like not quite as elevating as you hoped it would be. Yeah. So I love the camera. The camera feels great. It hefts really good. But I hate the screen. Is another thing.
Oh.
So
okay.
The thing I thought I would like.
Yeah.
The way the screen flips out and it gives you every angle you could possibly need to shoot with. And everyone was bemoaning not having just a little fold down and up screen, so you could sort of tilt in two directions. Yeah. And I thought, well, it's a ridiculous thing to complain about. There's far more flexibility in the way they've got the screen set up. But it's a pain to do, and it's kind of always in the way. And you're now off axis to where your lens is pointing to where you're looking.
Right.
Your axes are different, and that can have an impact, obviously, on what you're doing. And when you kind of when you have a screen that can tilt out just a little bit, you kind of use like a waist level viewfinder like you would in the old day cameras. Yep. You kind of look down on it and shoot, and that's really, really good. You can't do that with this.
Right.
And I'm sure there's a setting to turn it off, and I didn't get time to go that deep. But because...
Hang on, you told me you had 6 hours to kill while kid was in school. How slow are you at reading a manual?
Well, A, I haven't seen the manual. B, I did have to have a couple of naps in those days.
Oh, okay, of course.
So, and lunch. So I'm sure there's a setting to turn it off.
Right.
But when you bring your eye to the viewfinder, it turns off the screen.
Right.
Okay. Which is
that's
great.
what you want.
Exactly what it should do. Yep. Except when you're maybe kind of backing up into a corner, with a 50mm lens, sometimes you got to step back a couple of steps to try and get the angle that you want to, the viewer you want of the shot. And sometimes you can only go back so far, and there's a wall or a car or something.
Yeah, sure.
So you start to bring the camera toward you. You're looking at the screen. You start to bring the camera towards your
and
body.
Then it turns the screen off.
Within about a foot of your body, it turns the screen off.
Oh.
So about a foot away, you can't see anymore. Now, I'm sure there's a way to turn that off. I'm positive it would be mad if there wasn't.
Yeah.
But when you're starting out, these are the things you notice.
Yeah.
Because they get you a bit frustrated. So there's a few little quirks like that been going on. Yeah. I've liked some of the shots I've got out of it, but I wouldn't say there's anything... And I didn't expect the shots to really look... I didn't expect what I shot to look any different, or the way I shot it to look any different. But maybe there was a hope, as there always is with any new gear, that maybe the colour science, as they call it, Bruce, the way Nikon sees colours versus our may look a little bit different. Yeah. Yeah, there might be just some sort of marginal feel difference between them. Mm-hmm. No. None that I saw, with the limited amount of shots that I took. Maybe I've taken maybe 50 photos.
I'm assuming that Nikon is still using Sony sensors, yeah?
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Possible. Yeah, possible. I'm not sure.
So, I wouldn't expect there to be a noticeable colour difference if they are still using Sony sensors as they were for a long time.
Yeah, there would be from Canon, though, which is what I'm used to seeing.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Canon is highly regarded for its colours, particularly skin tones.
Well, they say that about the Nikon. The Nikon colour science is so good, blah, 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 blah. Oh, one other strange thing that kept happening, and I still haven't figured out how to turn it. I'm sure there's a way of turning it off. Yeah. Every now and then, when I'm either using the screen or the EVF, a little frame would come up to do white balance adjustment. So I'm obviously either...
Before the shot or after the shot?
Before the shot. As I'm looking through the screen, I must be hitting the sun button or knocking it with my nose or breathing too heavily on it or whatever. And this damn thing keeps popping up. It drove me a little bit insane. So I didn't have to turn it off. Yeah. Because I didn't get a manual or read a manual or look too deep into it. Yeah. This is fun using new gear, Bruce. I'm glad it's not like on something important like a proper trip or something.
Do you change white balance much?
Never.
Right. You shoot at 5600 or something close to that all the time, or
auto?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I must admit, on my last India tour, I did shoot 5600 the whole trip.
Yep.
But most of the time, I'm too lazy, and if I stuff other colours, I just turn it black and white.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's much easier to just convert to black and white. So, auto, because I don't care. so that was kind of interesting. The focusing was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I did take one shot of the eldest while sitting at Sydney Airport that I really liked.
Okay.
They won't let me share it anywhere, but
right.
it's actually my background screen on my computer as we speak. So
okay.
I really like that. It's kind of a cool one for me, and that's the only portrait I've taken with it. I even did a landscape today, Bruce. You saw it. You commented online that I should have had less in it.
Oh, yes, the beach and the sky.
No, hang on. It was the beach, the water, and the sky.
Okay. Right. Yes.
I thought it looked pretty cool, and everyone
did.
The piss out of me.
No, it did look cool.
I'm sure Peter Lick sold a photo of that for like $7.3 million or something.
And was that shot with the 50mm?
Yeah.
Because it was nice straight horizon.
Yeah, it was, isn't it? Yeah,
it was awesome.
Well, it's because it's flat, Bruce.
Yeah.
You use the right. It's the lens.
Oh, it's the flat Earth, mate. It's because the Earth is flat.
Exactly. And the curvature you see is only because you're using a really wide angle lens to see all of the Earth. And you put a ruler in front of your lens at 10 mil, and you'll see it's bent too. It's exactly the same thing, Bruce. So I've got to send it back. What days? I've got about 4 more days with it. Right?
With the body?
This weekend, with the body and lens. So I've got this weekend still. I'm not sure if I'm getting it with the wife coming down sick, the youngest kid's sick, and me getting over being sick. Who knows if anything's going to get out and get shot. But I'll give it a shot if I can. If I can get out and do. I've got to admit also being massively uninspired of what to shoot.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just it's just nothing happening, And this is something we talked about, I think, in a few podcasts ago about when you travel to exotic places to shoot, it can be really hard to then maintain the enthusiasm for shooting the everyday.
Right.
The stuff you see every day, or the places you go to every day, or the places you shot 10 years ago 1,000 times.
Yeah.
There's all that crap. Oh, see it with a new eye. Yeah, I got one eye. Well, I've got 2, but they're both the same.
Yeah.
They're both exactly the same. They're both mostly a bit hazy and kind of blurry all the time. That's what they see. So, and if one thing I've noticed in my photography in the last life is my style has never changed.
Right.
What I shoot, it's very hard to change how you see the world and what excites you to shoot.
Yep.
And the only things that's excited me to shoot was light this last week or 2.
Yep.
And only a couple of times has the light been hitting something interesting.
Right.
So it's that isn't just the same crap that I've done a million times before. It's still the same crap, but it's marginally more interesting.
Well, maybe you need to go out earlier in the morning or later in the evening.
Then I've got kid duties.
Right. Okay.
That's the problem. I've got to get the kids up to school.
Yeah.
Got to get their lunches ready. Got to take them to school. Got to do the shopping, the housework. Pick the kids up from school, cook dinner.
Yeah.
It's a tough life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now the wife's sacked. Maybe she can do some of that. I'll go out and get a job. So anyway, but I've also been doing I've been doing some promotion for my old Bangladeshi tours.
Yep.
And I'm now pleased to say that my November 26 tour, which I think I was just launching last podcast, if I remember, that's only got possibly 2, but no, well, it's half full, but possibly only 2 spots left, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, right.
So to the point where I'm now looking at the 27 Bangladesh tour.
Wow.
Which is it's going to have me in the 63s in age range. So it's like, God. My wife keeps saying, "Could we just see if you survived the first one before you had 3?" Who knows? But that's pretty exciting.
Nothing like some positive encouragement.
Oh yeah. And there's I've been working just finalising just the itinerary of the March 27 India tour.
Oh, okay.
Because we're going to first time ever going to Kolkata.
Right.
For me, so it's going to be pretty darn interesting. It's it's got shots that I haven't seen anywhere else in India.
Oh, okay.
Or opportunities to shoot that I haven't been able to find. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I haven't been able to find.
Yeah.
But my guy on the ground can get me into like some amazing factories and stuff with remarkable light.
Since 2005, Shutters Inc. has been a labour of love. But beyond the time required to produce it, there is also a financial commitment. If you find value in the podcast and would like to help keep the servers running, hit up the Patreon link, which is in the show notes. Even a couple of dollars a month will help. Much appreciated. Now, back to the podcast.
So that's good. I've got more gear incoming, hopefully next week.
Oh, okay. What sort of gear?
As well. So I've got the Fuji EX5.
Oh, okay.
In. And if you haven't seen that, Bruce, you should have a little bit of a gander at it. It is SEXXY.
Right.
Little camera. It is a very cool looking piece of kit. My vision for future shooting gear is having something like the ZF on one shoulder and something like an XE5 on the other shoulder.
Okay.
And the XE5, I'm going to only have 2 prime lenses. That's all that camera's ever going to have.
Yeah.
2 small primes, and then something like a 16 to 30 and a 35 to 150 on the other one. Maybe a 150 to 500 as well.
And what sensors do these two bodies have in them?
Well, the ZF has a full frame,
35 mil
size sensor, yeah. But the XE5 is APS-C.
Oh, okay, cool.
But the funny thing is the ZF is a 24 megapixel full frame.
Nice.
And the XE5 is a 40 megapixel APS-C.
Yeah.
But once again, it's got Fuji's color science.
Yeah.
Which is quite different. Which I think, and again in JPEG. So with the ZF, what I've been playing around with is their what they call recipes, or basically they're like LUTs, the color grading basically for your photos. So I've been enjoying playing with those, but I haven't really liked their look.
Okay.
And you can dial up your own style of look and have that as a favorite, how it records your JPEGs.
Okay.
And online people share their different ones. There's something Fuji's been doing for a fair few years, and they've kind of refined it. And they actually have like individual films, like Fuji Superior 100 films. So it very emulates a particular film from the past.
Yep.
Which is kind of good. And Olympus were doing this back in the 90s, the 2007s, 8s. It's a long time ago.
Yep.
They've had this kind of different simulations built in, and I thought at the time it's mad that more companies didn't do it. I thought it's been a lost opportunity. They haven't done it for many, many years, but it's finally starting to kind of come to fruition a little bit.
Yeah. Right.
But the way the Fuji works, it's got this little dial on the top of the camera, which once again very tactile. It kind of feels like an old film camera, where you can just dial up your different film simulations.
Right.
And then because there's a huge online community sharing their own ones they've designed, you can have these little slots, little things you can program your own ones in there as well.
So do you just store them on the memory card that you're also shooting on in order to get them into the camera?
It must be an internal memory.
Right.
It has to be. And just once again, the very tactile nature. This is a very small camera as well. This is it's basically, it looks like a compact camera, but with interchangeable lenses.
Yeah.
And my dream camera when I started out in this business in the early 80s was the Minolta CLE, which is like a Leica CL. Basically, Minolta made this camera for Leica, and they had their own version of it. But it was just this gorgeous little rangefinder camera with a range of small lenses to go on it.
Yep.
And it was the price of a car in those days when I was genuinely. I mean, I used to earn I think $106 a week, and this thing was like $2,000 without lenses.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it was 20 weeks' wages for me to buy just the body.
Yeah.
So it was never affordable or possible. I'd ever be able to get that. But this XE is, and I'd hate, and I could get one now, but I hate film. So I wouldn't want to do that. So so this is the XE5. I'm hoping will kindle that desire to shoot like the CLE, like the CL or the Minolta CLE, and just again, so you'd have these kind of two different experiences when you're walking along shooting, where you've got your sort of traditional method of shooting with a bigger SLR style camera, and then this little in your face kind of surreptitious little body that people are less worried about having in their face. Yeah, it's small and doesn't. Yeah. So again, this is my imagination telling me how I'm going to shoot with it, and then we'll see what the reality's like. So Fuji are hopefully going to have some. That's not released yet. It's out a couple of weeks, I think, but they hope they're going to get one to me next week. Their samples over in Perth for a big festival in Perth this weekend.
Cool.
And hopefully they'll be sending me over a X100-6 as well, which is effectively the same type of camera, but without interchangeable lenses. So just a fixed 35mm lens.
Oh, it's not even a built-in zoom.
It's just a fixed 35. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Which is what I don't want a zoom lens with this camera. I just want just fixed.
Yep.
So that's the photography I've got there. Now I've got something I might need the help of the old Shutters Inc. community with over the next few months.
Oh, okay.
Fundraising, Bruce.
Right.
I need money.
Right.
No, not me. I don't. Well, I do need money, but not me. My delightful young 14-year-old daughter has the opportunity now. I've just found out last night, and we're going to an information evening next Thursday night to go with her school to Borneo next year.
Oh, nice.
Borneo for the and do a rainforest walk for the orangutans. And down into the turtle breeding season and helping out with turtle breeding.
Nice.
In June next year. So the school, there's a 2 week. But the way it's being done is they have to fundraise.
Right.
Yeah, they have to fundraise to learn what it takes to get something like this to happen and all these kind of things.
And what happens to the funds? Are they going to the turtle hatchery?
Well, it's done in coordination with a world education company that takes kids from all around the world to all different places around the world to learn community and learn how the world works and how different situations like rainforest deforestation and all this kind of stuff. So it's a very, very big educational company. So you pay them and they use those funds and where they travel to help the communities and help the orangutans and the turtles and all those kind of things. So she'll be trying to raise some cash soon. And
awesome.
We could maybe get people to donate. If you donate $10 or more, we won't record for a month. Something like that. Yeah. Or donate $20 or more for a Bruce-only episode. Who knows? We could get creative. Suggestions are welcome, people. But I might actually put up. I might put up a limited edition signed prints, run of prints of one of my images.
Yeah, nice.
And mind you, she's supposed to be doing it, but dads help out. And do something. It's pretty cool. And I want to train her photographically between now and then. She's been being my model. She's been being my model recently at workshops. But I want to train her and get her to do a photo story of this journey as well. And I think it'd be kind of fascinating. So that's something cool that's happening. So anyway, that's my 2 weeks. It's been a busy 2 weeks, Bruce.
Yeah.
And have you been?
Yeah, pretty good.
Nice talk there. I said, well, good, nice talking with you, and see you all next week.
Health is okay.
Oh, what's going on?
I went to the skin specialist because I had this little...
Well, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Never ask don't ask for a doctor's opinion, or even worse, don't ask for a second opinion.
So
if you missed something little time round, good. You've had what?
Little thing that was concerning me. So I went to the skin specialist and she's gone, we'll zap that and we'll zap this and we'll zap that and we'll zap that other one and we'll zap that one. And by the way, we might just put you on this medication, which turns out to be essentially chemotherapy, to get rid of a couple of BCCs on my face and some other spots that she said.
Copies. What's on your face?
Yeah, basal cell carcinoma,
that makes more sense.
which is a benign skin cancer, but if you don't get rid of it, they can go malignant later.
Can I tell you, both the words benign and malignant both sound bad.
Yes.
And I've never quite understood which one they're telling me. Is that the good news or the bad news?
So now I'm on this this course of this cream, which she said to me, it's these two medications. You'll have to go to a compounding chemist to get them to compound it for you. And you'll be on this treatment for 3 to 4 weeks. And then after that, there'll be a couple of weeks of recovery. And then I want to see you again. And so I went, okay, no problem. So I take the script to the pharmacist and I say, need this made up. And they've gone, okay, yep, and you'll be on this for 4 to 5 days. And I went, no, the skin specialist said I'll be on it for 3 to 4 weeks. And they've gone, no, you would never be on this for more than 4 or 5 days.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, Jesus, can you guys get your stories together and work out which it is? Because you're frightening me.
Funny.
So I'm expecting a phone call from the skin specialist tomorrow morning.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
I've started on the treatment, 2 days ago.
In the hope that it's...
In the hopes that the pharmacist will talk some sense into the skin specialist, or the skin specialist will have a compelling reason for why I need to be on it for 3 weeks.
Jeez,
so anyway, so that's the fun and games. And I got to apply this stuff twice a day, and they said your face will go red and blotchy and scabby, and you can't use soap, and you can't use moisturizer, and you can't exfoliate, and you can't do this, and don't put sunscreen on. It's like, okay, right. So I'm just going to...
So just stay indoors for the next...
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, photographically, not a whole lot. I did take my camera out for a little photo walk the other day, but I didn't get anything that I was really happy with. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole on YouTube, and one of these was all about your shutter speed is too fast.
Right.
Like that was the subject of one of these videos, It was all about, do some intentional camera movement, do some intentional slow shutter speeds where, and so I kind of went out with that kind of attitude, but I only had a very small window of time, like about 30 or 40 minutes. Wasn't really blown away with anything that I got, but I sort of still think I wouldn't mind doing that at some point, because I honestly have not just picked up the camera and gone for a walk with no... particular subject matter in mind for years. I can't remember the last time I did something like that.
Man. I've been down a similar rabbit hole of this whole ICM and stuff, and I'm not sure if it's ever made me feel better about my photography or just worse, because I can't even move the camera well. I can't even move the camera in an interesting way.
But I think that comes back to what you were saying like 10 minutes ago about the fact that your style is your style, and you have a style which you have absolutely nailed to the wall, and it works for you. And so I can kind of understand why Glynn Lavender suddenly trying to go out and do something completely outside of his wheelhouse is probably going to not achieve the same level of satisfaction straight out of the gate, because you'd probably need to spend a little bit more time thinking about the technicalities of what you're trying to do than when you shoot your style, which just comes naturally now because you've been doing it for so long. So I don't know.
It's interesting when we try something new. It's always hard,
Yeah, but that's any skill, right?
I was just about to say exactly the same thing. It's
I spent 15 years of Max's childhood telling him, mate, it's practice. Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, you had 15 years of practice, didn't you? If you look at it that way. I was watching someone earlier tonight talking about the struggle of they're a filmmaker, and their internal struggle of the negative voice, basically saying, well, I don't know why you're bothering because everyone else has done it and they've done it better, and yours is not great by comparison. And
but this is the Helsinki bus terminal analogy all over again.
Sure it is, Bruce. I think
the eyes glazed over.
It's actually the kitchen sinky paradigm. What's the Helsinki bus terminal?
The Helsinki bus terminal analogy? We have talked about it, and basically it was a blog post that I saw years and years ago. I can see that. Since then. And basically this guy was saying, you get all excited about photography, at whatever point in your life when the bug catches you, and you think, I'm going to shoot real estate. And so you go out and you start shooting real estate, and then you start showing the photos to people, and someone says, oh, yeah, but, so-and-so did that before you, and, blah, blah, blah. And so then you think, oh, I'm going to be a wedding photographer. So you decide to reskill as a wedding photographer, and then, you start showing your pictures around and people are going, oh, yeah, but, Jasmine was doing that, 20 years ago, and, blah, 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 or Jerry Gihonis does that sort of stuff. Yeah, whatever. And so then you think, maybe I'll be a landscape photographer, And he said, it's like all the buses leave from the Helsinki bus terminal and they all branch out. But for quite a long time, there will be multiple buses following the same route. But if you just stay on the one bus, eventually that bus gets to a point where there are no other buses, because eventually that route, goes off into a place where no one else goes.
Right, it's the popular bus route, though, Bruce. There's got to be other people on the bus. And they'll all get off at the end, because it's got to end somewhere. It doesn't just go on infinite. It's not the infinite.
But the point was, he was saying every time you decide to change the genre that you're going to shoot, it's like you've gone back to the terminal to jump on another bus, and then you're in this
people around you, because that's when it's the business.
And you've exactly that, yeah. And he said, the longer you just stay with your type of photography that works for you, eventually you will get to a place where that style becomes synonymous with your name, because you're
not
doing
if you bought a round trip ticket. You start to refine it. You don't. No one ever stops. I'm here. This is it. They keep going, Bruce. And
that's right.
Coming back around, and it comes back into more and more. You start doing the same thing everyone else is doing again, and you get lost. You forgot what it was you did well. Don't. So the moral of the story is, when in Helsinki, buy a single ticket. An excellent device for travel.
Thing is, I can be scrolling my Facebook feed, and without even seeing your name, I can see a photo and go, "Oh, that's Glynn."
I just did it just then. Was that the one you're talking about? I just uploaded a photo to Facebook as we speak.
No, it was not then. But my point is that your images are recognisable. Like, the style of your images is recognisable. It certainly is to me, anyway.
Yeah.
And I think there's some validity to that idea that the longer you stay the course and shoot what you want to shoot, and don't be concerned about, it looks like Ansel Adams, or it looks like Joe McNally, or whatever, and you just do you. Until you get you is a recognisable product,
and by that point, you probably no longer want to do it, because it's what you've been doing for a long time before people recognise it, and you're bored of it already. But there's a point to that. You'll be going, you're restless because everyone's trying to improve and get better. So you're at a point where you finally get recognition, but it was something maybe you were doing 2 or 3 months ago, and you tried to move beyond that in that 2 or 3 months, or 6 months, or 12 months. Mm-hmm. There's a great song by the amazing band Bare Naked Ladies.
Okay.
Called Box Set. And there's a box set. It's funny. It's a fabulous song about what it's like to be a musician. But it's put out on their very first album, their debut album. But it was written from the point of a band that had been around for like X amount of years.
Is it as good as It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll?
It's better than that, Bruce.
Sacrilege.
Because what they're saying, he's describing that he's bringing out this box set of his records and his stuff, and the fact that basically it's just, if you're buying this and you're a fan, well, you've already got it all. But now we've put it in a box. And I've got some demos that I recorded in my basement that sounds shy, but they're on there because it's the box set, And then we've got some a couple of songs that are sung by a special computer, because at the time I was in rehab or whatever and couldn't function as a human being, and sort of stuff. He says, but no matter what I do, all you want is 1974. The stupid number one hit single has put me in this mess. And that's the thing. The band has got this one massive mega song, and remember they wrote this. They actually did get a massive mega song, but 13 years after they wrote this song, right? And so they've written this thing about what it would do to them when they had this massive mega song, and 13 years, it's exactly what it did. Pretty much did. All they wanted was the same.
And that song was 1 week, obviously.
Exactly, but they've got far more varied prior to that, far more varied music and intelligent lyrics. So that's the thing. So is that musicians the same as a photographer? You're applying your craft
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, you're going to have your 1 week, you're going to have your one session, your one chore or whatever, where you get just some iconic style images. And the next trip's not going to be that, but that's what they want.
Yeah.
And anything you show beyond that is never going to be as good as what you had. And that's the irony of it all, you know. It's when you get your style, is your style, if you have a style, is that just a box that you can't get out of now? Because to get out of it means people aren't going to enjoy your work. Because you realise it took you, let's say, 20 years of shooting for people to recognise that one style.
Yeah.
But now you've got to shoot that style for the rest of your life, because anything you do beyond that is like the first 20 years, no one's going to be interested in it. Because they weren't interested for 20 years. They were interested in this. Maybe they won't be interested in the next stuff you do. Maybe they will, but maybe they won't.
Yeah. I think you could argue that there's a reasonably good chance that if you have built some sort of a following because of that style that you shoot, and then you suddenly think, I want to start verging away from this and try to shoot something else, there's always a good chance that some portion of your audience will follow you on that journey. Yeah.
Some portion. It's like, but the problem is a lot of the stuff that isn't your stuff becomes the stuff that people go to the art galleries and look at it and go, I could have done that. You didn't, but you could, huh? But didn't. Yeah. Was that all? What, taped a banana to a wall, $10 million? I could have done that, but you didn't. Yeah, it's this whole art and photography and style it's a fascinating.
At the risk of sounding sacrilegious myself, I felt much that way going to the exhibition of. She shot the cover to Born in the USA, Annie Leibovitz.
Ah, yes.
Went to her exhibition, and a lot of it was just candid stuff.
Yeah.
Like the pro shot stuff where she worked with a team and with lights and with makeup and blah, blah, blah. That stuff I really loved. But the candid stuff was like, nah, whatever.
But like I've always said, the easiest shot in the world to do is the front cover of Vogue. Oh. It's the easiest photo in the world to do, Bruce.
If you know what you're doing and if you've got a team around you.
You don't have to know nothing. Because you have a team around you who know what they're doing.
Right.
You have phenomenal lighting technicians.
Yep.
You have phenomenal makeup artists, phenomenal hair, phenomenal clothes, phenomenal models or celebrities who know how to use their bodies and the light and work their best. And all you do is go bang, 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 bang on the shutter, and one of those shots will be great.
Okay, but who's deciding on the look?
Art director, usually.
Right.
You're just a pressing the button guy. And AI can do that. But even if you're deciding the look, they figure out how to light it. Yeah. They figure out how to make the textures look good. You can have input and all, but at the end of the day, the style of the end shot is you've shot enough buttons that someone's going to like one of them more than the rest. Yeah,
right.
And that's if you ever look at, my brain's gone blank, who brought out the book, Contact Sheet is the name of the book, by one of the main image libraries.
Magnum,
Magnum Contact Sheet, and they're literally the contact sheets are famous from famous shoots. But it's basically some of the most recognizable, iconic shots in history, like Marilyn Monroe with the dress over the grill blowing up. It's the shots on either side of that. It's the contact sheet of all the negs, of all the shots that they took to get that one shot. Right. And it's the same concept. You take enough photographs of Marilyn Monroe looking cute with the wind blowing up her dress.
Yeah.
What are you doing special?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pressing the button. Yeah, but the shot makes her is iconic and historic. Yeah. So when you look at Annie Leibovitz...
There is an argument, though, that back in those days when you're shooting film, you only got 36 exposures. You can't machine gun shoot like we do these days.
Oh, you could have. You had 10 frames a second motor drives.
Yeah, but you can't be wasting film stock like that.
Of course you can when you're working for an agency and it's $1 million shoot.
Okay.
You can shoot as many shots as you damn well want. At the same time,
anyway,
how many shots of Annie Leibovitz? Obviously, Annie Leibovitz is the wind blowing up her dress. How many shots do you need of Marilyn Monroe? Look, because once again, they're pros. They can hold that look and that cute look and that thing and work the lights and work the body and get everything right. And then it's just a matter of where the dress is sitting with the wind. That's the intangible. And all you're doing is shooting to get variations of how the flow of that dress looks. That's kind of all you're working realistically is that one movable element.
Yeah.
But something like Andy Leibovitz, how much of the shot is the subject matter adding to it? Yeah. If it's a nobody in that photo, is it iconic?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it because it's a young Mick Jagger putting Mick Jagger vibes out?
Yeah.
There, and you've got the historical reference of what that became and who he became and everything else that impacts how you see the image. It's fascinating stuff, and there's no answer, and there's no right or wrong either. There's yes and no's to both of those, but it's fascinating ways to think about your art. And when you get depressed about your own stuff, you can just think, well, the moment wasn't right, or it wasn't. It's not my inability to get the shots. It's all those elements that made the shot didn't align. Yeah, Marilyn's dress didn't fly in a way that was ever interesting in that shoot. We had a good idea, but none of them were really killer. We took 7 rolls of film, then she had the jack and left. And none of them. And I'm assure you, there's 1,000 photo shoots out there like that you never saw,
right?
Because they never made the cut. There was no one moment in that shoot that really stood out.
Right.
Steve McCurry's Afghan Girl is a classic example. That shot is not the one that he chose.
Is that right?
He had a shot that he liked looking from where. So basically, if you stood 90 degrees to the right and shot, with her facing,
so just shooting straight on.
Yeah, but she was there and looking down through the building, and he's got that shot in contact sheets.
Yeah, right.
But the art director preferred that background because it was better for the National Geographic for the wording and the the moments can be serendipitous sometimes and not deliberate. And what happens if he didn't take that shot, but he only had those other ones? Would we know it? What if he was shooting black and white film instead of colour? Would we know it? More importantly, what if the wall behind her wasn't green? Would we know it? Nothing to do with her face, nothing to do with her eyes.
Yeah.
If the background
just about the complementary colours.
She's got a green shawl underneath her red sari. What if that was a different colour? Would we know? Would this photo have had the same impact? It's fascinating stuff. So when we get down on ourselves about photography, and this is me today. Now I went out and couldn't be inspired about anything except for that one shot of the beach. I was there at 11 o'clock in the morning on a bright day. I mean, what are you expecting? Things don't align every time. And if they did, we wouldn't do it anymore. The challenge is it's got to be hard to get shots. Not so much when you're starting out, but then what you accept as a good shot is a lot less when you're starting out. Yeah, what you think, what you pass as a great photo, you look back in 20 years ago. I can't believe I used to think that was good. Yeah. But the more your skill ramps up, the harder it is to get everything to align to be interesting. Interesting. What an interesting conversation we had again today. We're going to have to stop this, Bruce. We're killing the podcast vibe. And we've waffled on for a long time too. Look at that.
Have we?
I don't know.
Be close to an hour.
Yeah, at least, if not more. Well, when you edit it down to the 14 minutes of useful stuff, though, it'll be good.
All right. Will you look after yourself?
Thank you, my friends. You too. I hope everything works out with your blotchy face.
Yes, so do I. We're heading off to Tassie in a couple of weeks.
Are you, mate? Where are you going to?
The usual circumnavigation road trip. So we're driving down.
Circumnavigation or just top to bottom?
Well, no, circumnavigating it as best as we can within 12 days. So we catch the ferry across from Geelong to Devonport, stay the first night in Ulverston. Max and his girlfriend are going to be down in Ulverston that night from Darwin for her grandfather's 80th birthday or something. So we're crashing with them for one night, and then we'll drive down through what's the lake, the mountain, the
Cradle Mountain.
Cradle Mountain, that's the one. Down through that area, but Kath's not really up for doing a 12-kilometre walk, so I don't know how much of that I'm actually going to get to see. And it'll probably
there is. Look, it's goddamn gorgeous and beautiful. Anyway, have you never been there?
Not to Cradle Mountain, no.
Oh,
been to Tassie.
Goddamn gorgeous. It's goddamn gorgeous from the car park.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. And even if you just did, there's a little walk from where the cafe is, 400 or 500 meters around to the right, up past the little boat shed and stuff, up a little hill, another lovely view. It's a 500-meter walk there and back. It's gorgeous, and you'll feel you've seen it. And it's just a gentle stroll. You can just stop, take an hour to do it.
Yeah.
and just enjoy the scenery, take some photos, and you'll love it anyway.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and so then down to Strahan, we'll do a Gordon River cruise, and then in through Queenstown and across to Hobart, and then probably spend 2 or 3 nights in Hobart, because I've got a mate who lives there we're probably staying with him. And
does he know?
Yes. And then round to Port Arthur, because Kath's never been to Tassie at all. So,
wow. Oh,
she's really looking forward to it. And then up the east coast, up through Freycinet National Park and Bicheno and up to St Helens, and then across through Launceston and back to Devonport, and then back on the boat and drive home.
Does the missus like fish?
Eating fish?
Feeding.
We like being fed fish.
Not the opposite way. Because if you've got a bit of time to kill, a site I can recommend for its history in Tassie, about an hour or so from Hobart, is Salmon Ponds.
Right.
It's where all the trout and salmon were hatched for all the waters in Australia.
Right.
Back in the 1880s, they're brought from England. There's a fascinating history, and they've got these huge pools, and there's a little museum, and you can feed these like metre-long trout with food, and it's great fun. Yeah, it's very scenic.
Yeah, right. And that's down south, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's down about an hour from Hobart.
Okay.
You'll love it. She'll love it. I mentioned it's such a fabulous part of our country. Isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful. Very scenic, and I think some of the best roads in Australia, probably because they're not all smashed to pieces by massive B-doubles.
Also because they're constantly under renovation, so expect tons of roadworks wherever you go.
Right. Okay.
Be prepared. Ask any Taswegian, if you're trying to drive from Launceston to Hobart, how many roadworks you got to go through for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, of course, there's one other fabulous little road accoutrement that you don't normally see anywhere else. Roadkill everywhere.
Right.
You'll see more dead wildlife than wildlife in Tasmania. I don't know how they've killed so many things with vehicles and there's still things alive.
Yeah.
That's what amazes me,
So looking forward to that.
No. Oh, don't blame me. Be fabulous. Took the kids down there last November and they loved it.
Yeah.
So
I am concerned about how bloody cold it's going to be first 2 weeks of September.
Yeah, expect snow.
I said to Kath, it will be colder than what we experienced in Alaska.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Man, Melbourne can be too.
Yeah. All right, mate. We will talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right. Talk soon.
Bye.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.